Last time on Square Roots, we plant a mailbox, discover the secret of the Flame of Hope, and adopt some garbage orphans. Later, Diddle makes a special delivery when the mail pelican mistakes him for a letter. That's silly. He's not a letter, he's an abomination of flesh and machine. Whoopsie take!
He's a nightmare. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. I'm your host this week, Johnny Brandon. And with me, as always, is Vanessa Ducati. Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa Ducati Vanessa.
And also, everyone's fan favorite, Matthew Punkmaster Van Zant.
That's me, Matthew Punkmaster Van Zant.
Mm-hmm.
Master of punks around the world.
On this podcast, we play a classic RPG, one chunk at a time, like a book club. And this episode, we are talking about Legend of Mana. But this is part 2. If this is your first one, go back to part 1, or else. That is a threat. A legally binding threat. Can you legally bind a threat? I don't know.
No.
Okay. It's not actually a threat. That's jokes. We do jokes on this show because we're funny. So everybody, I don't know. I don't have a good bit for the start of this one. Does anyone have a bit? I'm hosting, so someone else needs to interrupt me with a bit.
Did you talk about what we do on the show?
Yes. I did.
Don't think we usually do a bit. I think that you just, you say that now is time to talk about how we leveled up.
No, usually I like ask a stupid question or bring up something random.
Okay, ask a stupid question. So how about them Olympics, huh?
Whoa.
Sure is sporty.
Lots of American gold. I'd love to see that.
I haven't
think
really
China's
watched
leading
any.
the gold at the moment.
I didn't say who was leading the gold, Vanessa.
Vanessa holds the Olympics up to a very high standard.
It was just very pro-China,
Yeah.
which is a weird take.
Well, you know.
I wish nothing but the best for the Chinese people.
Mm-hmm. Well, this bit has failed. So, Vanessa, why don't you tell me how you leveled up?
I decided to do me a little binge watch, and I watched seasons 2 and 3 of Jessica Jones on Netflix.
I didn't even know there was a season 3.
There sure is, and I watched it.
How is it?
I think I skipped that one because I heard it got canceled before it came out, maybe.
It was okay.
Did you watch The Defenders?
I watched some of The Defenders, but not all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't watched Iron Fist, so...
Defenders was such a huge biff that it's like almost hilarious.
Did you watch Defenders?
I watched all of that stuff. Other than maybe a couple, I don't think I watched the last Punisher season or the last Jessica Jones season because the whole series got canned, and I was like, don't bother. But I did watch them. Defenders was a huge biff, and like as much as I like Daredevil and liked some of the actors and some of the stuff that they did in those series, not much. I'm not mad that it's not part of the MCU. I'm glad that they never showed up in the movies, is all I'm saying. But you were telling us about Jessica Jones season 3.
Yeah, and season 2. They're okay. If you loved season 1, you might think that these are okay.
Yeah.
It definitely, like, David Tennant's performance as Kilgrave was so good in season 1 that I think it's difficult to either top that or, I don't know, the show just seems like it's missing that kind of manic, compelling, villainous energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I watched season 2 as well, and the villain is definitely no David Tennant Purple Man. And I don't know who the villain in season 3 was. Who was it, Vanessa?
Well, I don't want to say. It's sort of a spoiler. There
Well, can
is
you
like a...
give us we do spoilers? Give us a spoiler.
Okay, the villain in season 3 is a normal serial killer.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. Does she explode him through a wall?
Nope.
Oh. Well.
Does she continue to have a very CW relationship with her best friend, Hellcat?
In fact, season 3 focuses very prominently on their relationship, and Hellcat gets Hellcatty.
I don't think that Hellcat had powers, but I could be wrong.
Hellcat certainly did have powers.
What were
The
her powers?
powers of a cat.
Did she?
Cat-like reflexes,
Meow.
cat-like attitude,
Meow.
cat-like bathroom
I've
habits.
always wondered why there hasn't been a more
Bathroom habits?
popular cat-based superhero.
Like Catwoman? What are you
Oh,
talking
that's
about?
a good point. Yeah,
Catwoman is a huge superhero / anti-hero.
that's a good point. I said that's a good point.
Yeah, all right.
That's a-
Well, thank you
jumped
very
down my
much.
throat. She slipped my mind. I do love Catwoman. She's a villain, though.
Is she though?
Well, most of the time. She's canonically originally a villain, for sure.
Yeah.
She's definitely been turned into more of an anti-hero over the years.
Mm-hmm.
A love interest.
Because she's so popular. Everyone loves her.
Y'all see that comic where Batman and Catwoman totally did it on a roof and it was like a scandal? It was like,
No.
oh my god. They put sex in a comic book.
Wow.
They're not allowed doing that. What
They're not
about
allowed
the
doing
children?
that.
Everything has to be made for the what we believe are the tolerance levels of a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. Hang on, though.
Mhm.
Hang on.
Mhm.
Hellcat is in possession of a magic cloak that enables her to sense mystical phenomena or deflect mystical attacks.
Oh,
She is
well.
able to summon her costume at will,
Mm-hmm.
and she has claws and grappling hooks on her wrist and is a well-trained martial artist and gymnast.
Okay,
Hmm.
almost
So
none of
Hellcat's
that was
powers-
in the show.
Our magic cloak that senses and defends against mystical stuff. And that's
Yeah,
also, don't remember the character ever wearing a cloak in any of the costumes I've ever seen. So that's pretty wild.
well, it doesn't say she wears it. It just says she has it.
That's a
like
good
in her
point,
closet.
actually. Yeah. That's like listing, if you read the Doctor Strange entry, when it lists his abilities, it goes through every item in his closet.
That's not an ability. That's just your clothes
And sexuality.
and
But
your
all of Doctor
sexuality.
Strange's clothes are magic. Therefore, they're items like Hellcat's magic cloak, right?
Are they all He must have just like a normal pair of shoes.
All right, well, this has been a good chat. Do you have anything to add about Jessica Jones Season 3?
No.
Okay.
Matt, how did you level up?
Ooh. So last week I started to level up. I watched a bit of that new He-Man series on Netflix. And I didn't love it, the first episode. It was cheesy. I liked the hook at the end. I kind of want to spoil it. Did anybody else watch it or is planning on watching it?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay. And I knew one of you watched it. I couldn't remember if it was you or Jim. John, are you interested in this He-Man show?
I mean, we shouldn't spoil it, but not.
Well, I'm not going to spoil the
really.
whole show, but I would like to talk about some things that happened in episode 1.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
And
But
listeners,
spoilers for episode
Yeah.
1, folks, because it does have a twist at the end. Spoilers for episode 1. If you haven't watched, it's only 5 episodes. They're short. Episode 1 ends with He-Man dying
oh,
and Prince Adam also dying, and Prince Adam's secret of being He-Man being exposed as he and Skeletor die together in the Mount Eternia or the Castle Eternia or something like that. Vanessa, I'm sure you have some corrections that you want to.
Yes. They did die in the basement of Castle Grayskull.
Mhm.
It always confused me as a kid that there was a third castle. That there were 2 big famous castles, Snake Mountain and Grayskull, but He-Man just kind of lived somewhere else.
Yeah, he lives in a third and more different castle.
Okay, anyway. Anyway, so the first episode ends with He-Man and Skeletor dying, and then the series is kind of a several years later take on the characters and what happened, and, what happened to He-Man, because nobody really knows for sure what happened. What happened to He-Man, and Teela is really the protagonist of the show, and is great. And there's a phenomenal voice cast, and I would say I really liked it. So, it's funny because in each episode, maybe not each episode, but in multiple episodes, they would do, after the first episode, they would do like a flashback to like an old He-Man adventure. And I still found those sections kind of grating on me. Here's the truth. I don't like He-Man. He-Man's one of those characters like a lot of other ones where really what's interesting about He-Man is all the stuff around He-Man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't mind that it didn't focus very much on He-Man. It did in the later episodes, which you have not gotten to, show us a little bit more of Adam and his deal, which I enjoyed because Adam is more interesting than He-Man.
Yeah, Adam's all right. I did finish the show. It was funny. I was talking to my my brother, who is also kind of a nerd about this stuff, though much more of an in the closet nerd, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's gay.
Vanessa.
He's gay about his like sports is his beard. For sure. Anyway, that's hilarious, and I can't wait to say that to him, to his face.
But there's plenty of gay people who like sports. I'm just not one of those.
Yeah, like Tom Felton.
It's got nothing to do with homosexuality. The beard is the metaphor. What he's hiding is his nerdiness.
Oh.
Like, I don't think his girlfriend even knows how into Star Wars he is. Yeah, so the new He-Man, it's pretty good. It's getting a real bad rap online, I've noticed. I'm getting a lot of YouTube recommendations that are like, what's wrong with the new He-Man Revolution? And I'm just get lost with all of that. Miss me with that shit. I got no hangups on He-Man or like them changing anything. And I can't imagine why you would. It's not that good of a concept. It's like, it was a good idea and it's got some good art and visuals to it. And it had some good, fun, creative ideas. And then it was a kid's cartoon that never had a serious plot and never had anything interesting happen once. So, anyway, the new He-Man, worth checking out. I also checked out the Harley Quinn series again. So I'm sure I've talked about it before because I've tried to watch it before. So this is an official position change for Matthew. You can write this down in your notebooks. Call it a flip-flop if you want. You can call him, say, I'm waffling. That Harley Quinn show's pretty great. I like it a lot. It's really good. I have not finished season 2 yet, but it is fantastic. It's funny. It's funny. That's the biggest thing about it, is that it's so funny. It's got such a talented voice cast, and I don't love every choice they make, but it's fun. Yeah, that's not new. Third season's coming out soon, so I can't wait to watch that. That's it for me. John.
Hello.
Would you like to tell us how you leveled up?
Sure.
Excuse me, I have a random interruption. Hello. So we have a special message from Jim, who is in Chicago enjoying Lollapalooza, and he does say jizz.
Oddly enough, that does relate to one of my 2 level ups.
Oh, no.
I saw the film The Green Knight.
Oh,
wow.
It's
I really want to see it, so no big spoilies for me, please.
There's a surprising jizz shot. That's all I will say as how that relates to Jim's comment.
Well, if I wasn't excited to see it before.
Everyone in the theater went, what? Like, there was consternation and uproar.
Oh. And think of the children.
Well,
That's crazy.
This is not aimed at children. I will say that.
Super glad that I did not take one of my kids to see it.
Yeah.
I really am desperate to see it.
It's yeah. That's basically the only adult content really in the movie, though. It's not gory or anything.
That's a heck of an adult content, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. The movie makes a lot of interesting choices. It is based on, I believe, a 14th century chivalric poem. It's loose in its interpretation, like it adds some extra stories. Some of the stuff,
Gawain and the Green Knight.
yeah, and the Christmas game. And it does take some liberties, and some of the like side quests he goes on his journey are pretty fun. It's sort of a like Ulysses kind of journey thing. So like meeting different fantasy creatures along the way and helpers and things. It's got some beautiful imagery. It is very slow. Like Dev Patel plays Sir Gawain. He is very good, but like shots can take like a minute of him just walking from one thing to another. Like you have to be patient, I think, for this kind of movie to work for you. If you get real antsy when shots take a long time and things are not explained, it may not be a film for you. Which is not a judgment on you.
Sounds right up my alley. Cannot wait.
It is super weird. I think
love weird.
It was interesting.
Love Arthurian.
Yeah, I think that there you go. Yeah, just maybe unless you want to.
I might go see this one by myself.
Yeah,
this might be a Matt Goes Alone.
That's what I did because I don't have friends to go to the movies with right now.
I went and saw Black Widow with my brother. We were talking about seeing Fast 9.
Well, neither of my go to the movie friends here are vaccinated fully, so they're waiting to go for that. It was my brother's birthday, so I purchased him a game, and I was like, oh, I should get it for myself too. So I got him Phantom Abyss, because I know he likes those kind of run-like games, like the ones with randomized elements and stuff. So this game is like a Mirror's Edge, like it's a first-person platformy game. And you're going through a temple, and it's random. It's sort of okay. There's a random seed, and then it's like you can share this with all your friends, but only one person in the world can beat this random temple, right? And you only get one chance at it. So maybe your friends will be able to do it, or other people on the internet will get the chance to do it, and you see the ghosts of people who've tried it before. And seeing how well they do. Yeah, it's really neat. And the platforming's a lot of fun. And I can play it with a 360 or Xbox One controller.
So it's PC? Oh, it's Steam.
Yeah, it's Steam for now. I bet it'll come to consoles because it plays great with a controller. So,
do you only get to try it once, or can you try it multiple times until someone gets it?
You yourself can only try it once, but you get 3 lives. So you do get a couple of chances. It's not just instant fail the second you die, because there's lots of tricksy traps. And starting in the second level, it reminds me of old Atari games. This like weird looking neon head starts following you. Like it's a electric looking outline of a head that slowly follows you through the level and will kill you if it touches you. And that shit creeps me out, just like in those old Atari games. I don't know. That's like one of my weaknesses. Like Vanessa doesn't like a ghost you don't know is a ghost. Johnny doesn't like weird, slow, creepy things following you in video games.
Oh.
That will kill you the second they touch you.
Like the sun from Mario?
Well, that thing's fast. But like there are old Atari games where like the music would get creepy and this like thing would follow you across the screen if you're taking too long in a level.
That does sound pretty creepy.
Yeah, and I like it, but it does make me a little creeped out. So that's how I leveled up. Vanessa, why don't you take that leaf out of your pocket, see what the little cactus wrote on it.
All right, let's see what Lil Cactus has to say today. As you recall, last time we had just finished getting our very own special workshop from Watts, and now it's time to use another one of our AF artifacts. This one...
Oh, I was going to say, that doll is broken as fuck.
Yep, this is the Broken Doll AF. The Broken Doll, this might be one of my favorite artifacts because it's so weird. And this launches the quest, the Infernal Doll. So we place this artifact down and enter the junkyard. This is a junkyard full of toys.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's fun until you sort of talk to a couple of them and discover that these toys are soldiers who died in combat and can't rest.
Oh.
Because of the things that they did during their life.
Oh, but my God.
Yeah. So it's like you have like a rocking horse, and you can talk to a lot of them. And so like you talk to the rocking horse, and the rocking horse is like, yeah, my friends all died violently on the battlefield, and I remember their screams as they bled out in the mud. And you're like, what are you talking about, rocking horse?
Why is this super
Why?
cute teddy bear telling me about how he doesn't want to live anymore?
I know. And like, oh, I just want to die, but I'm trapped forever in this body. So you walk in and you see the infernal doll, which is just kind of a flying little imp thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it runs off through essentially a maze. And you can talk to this special jack-in-the-box at the beginning of the maze, and it will tell you how to get through it, but the way it tells you is like rocking horse, jack-in-the-box, teddy bear, blocks. So essentially you have to look for which toy is sitting by which exit in order to successfully navigate the maze. Johnny,
Yes.
did you have any trouble successfully navigating the maze?
Yes.
Me too. It's real hard.
I think the harder one for me was the second time, because you have to in a couple of events from now you have to do it again. But I can't for this one. I just couldn't trigger it or something. I don't know. It was definitely the second time where it was really hard to trigger. But yes, it was. This was a tricksy one again.
Mm-hmm. It's very tricksy. I don't love it because, I don't know, it just takes a little more time than is enjoyable, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I did go up a lot of levels in the next one here. But
Yeah.
fortunately, the next little quest, I found a little bit easier.
Yeah, The Lost Princess.
Mm-hmm.
This one is interesting. We go to Domina, the town,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to this guy, Elizul. Elizul. And when we find Elizul, he's like harassing this fairy and being like, I know you know where she is. Tell me. And the fairy's just like crying, like she's a waitress or something. So he's like the kind of guy who goes into a place and just starts yelling at the wait staff and is like, tell me where she is. And honestly, if a guy is yelling like that about finding some girl, she probably doesn't want him to find her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so he's a one of the Jumi tribe, right? He's got the jewel chest.
He's got a sparkle heart glitter chest.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking for his girlfriend, so he claims.
And he's got a scimitar and like a deserty cape thing, big poofy pants.
Mm-hmm. And he thinks he's so much better and so much cooler than everyone.
Oh, yeah, this guy sucks.
Mm-hmm. He's a real dirtbag.
Yep. So where'd she end up being? Because it's when you get the jade egg, it makes a area. Is that right? Lake something.
Yeah, you get you can talk to
like
the
something.
fairy that he was yelling at.
Mm-hmm.
And you can choose to either like stick up for her or stay out of it. I of course stuck up for her, and then she gave me the jade egg, which we can put down to get to the next area, and it creates the Mekiv Caverns.
Oh, okay.
So as we're like leaving to go place down this thing, Elizul says he's coming with us, and we don't have a choice.
Yeah, you basically you gotta go with Mr. Elizul.
Yeah,
so.
he bullies us into it. So we get into the caverns. Pretty simple little cave area. And at the end, we find the Yeti.
Oh, boy.
Did you like this Yeti?
It was a cute Yeti.
It's
The
big.
Yetis in this game look nice and fun.
It furry. It cute.
I posted a picture, but I must have deleted it accidentally.
Oh, no. Poor Yeti.
It's okay. But yeah, it's just a big, cute Yeti with a big axe and shoes.
Mm-hmm. And once we defeat it, then Pearl comes out from where she was hiding, and she starts to thank you, and Elazul freaks out, and he's like, "Don't talk to her!
Yeah.
Pearl, you can only talk to me because you're my girlfriend. Let's go." And Pearl is obviously like uncomfortable with this, but she does go along.
She does thank you. She's like, well, thanks. Sorry about my boyfriend.
Yeah, she's like, "Sorry, it's just how he is, but like, he's really nice if you get to know him."
So you go back to your place, and Bud and Lisa are freaking out.
They are
What are they
freaking
freaking
out.
out about?
They're like, oh my god, Daddy's broom. Daddy's
Mhm.
broom is gone. Daddy's broom is missing."
Mhm.
And you're like, oh, well, what could have happened to Daddy's broom? You remember our cactus?
Lil Cactus?
He's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lil Cactus, who's our best friend, who would never
Yeah.
betray us.
Yes.
Turns out Lil Cactus, in part of his wandering around out of his pot, found this broom and decided it was garbage and took it to the junkyard and threw it away.
Now,
That makes sense
this
to me.
does seem to be the first time that the characters are aware that he can walk around, because they do see him like walk back through the living room and go upstairs too.
Yeah, and they're shocked by this. I mean, the kids, I don't think they've even been upstairs. I don't know if they know that they've been living with a
Monster.
cactus. He's not a monster. Just an additional roommate, let's say.
Terrifying Nightmare Cactus.
A terrifying nightmare cactus. Little Cactus is completely unapologetic about this behavior.
Mhm.
So it's up to you to go to the junkyard to retrieve this old broom, because it is the source of Pearl's power.
Mhm.
Not Pearl, I'm sorry. Lisa's power.
Yeah.
So back to the junkyard we go.
Oh, the junkyard is so confusing. Some of these dungeons are, like, they look nice, and they're all, I said this last time, they're all stuffed full of life and fun. I like them, but boy, it is not always easy to tell what's an entrance or an exit. It is really, sometimes really confusing where you come out from where you went in.
Yeah, it's,
For sure.
it's not
Like, you're,
always
like, upside down,
yeah.
leftwise, sideways. It's very confusing.
And this one in particular, like,
And they are all mazes, like legit.
I am following the walkthrough, but the walkthrough doesn't say that you have to talk to each toy to find out which one is next to the entrance that the cactus went down, because the event won't trigger until you do that.
A couple of things on that. Number one, unfortunately, this walkthrough is occasionally inadequate, and I have had to go to other walkthroughs to get information to get through things, particularly in this chunker, I think, or if not in this one, in the next one for sure. There are some sections where the walkthrough straight up says this needs some adjustment, and if you try to follow the directions, they are not right.
Mm-hmm.
So I did have to Google around and find some other walkthroughs for that stuff, and I did also have to use a guide with like a PDF copy of a Prima guide type thing that has maps that helped a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little bit, you know.
Just talk, if you do talk to the toys at the edge of every screen, they'll tell you which way the cactus went, and it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying in general.
Yeah,
The level
this
design
guide does
is-
not
It's not bad.
mention
It
that.
looks good, but it's hard. It can be very hard. It's very easy to get lost. I had some tough ones
Mm-hmm.
in these chunkers where I got lost, you know, and like it can be frustrating.
I never really got lost. It just got annoying doing the same fights over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say I did take more of in some regards, I did take more of an open approach to the. Once you get inside the dungeon, I kind of was like, sometimes I'd try to follow the guide, but a lot of the times I'd be like, but it just takes you right to it. There's nothing great in the treasure chest, but like I want to explore and fight and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to just follow the guide that's leading me exactly step by step through where to go.
Yeah.
Also,
it doesn't seem like you usually trigger any other events if you explore the dungeon, so that's fine.
yes, that's a good point. Also, the other complaint about the guide is that because we switched and I had played a little bit, my stuff is all fucked up now.
Yeah, mine have
All
been
fucked up.
too.
At this
All
point,
fucked up.
I found out that I must not have placed things in the exact right space because I
The
can't
new
put
guide that
them.
Vanessa suggested the second time that we're using, the guide we're using now has you putting a lot of early stuff down on the very bottom row,
Mhm.
and I don't have anything down there yet. So that's not a good sign.
I think for me, I might have misunderstood which side bottom meant because it's diagonal.
Yeah, I had to do a few things
Yeah, why do they
out
do
of
that in these
order,
fucking games?
essentially. But I, at this point, I think after this chunker, have everything laid down so I can play things in the order they want me to play it.
Oh, that's cool. So you get to the end, and there's just a tiny little gremlin that you gotta fight, and then you get your broom back, and Lisa's upset because Bud grabs it, and it's broken, and Bud throws it around a little, but he's like, oh, don't worry, sis, I will fix it up, and it'll be just as good as when our late father, who said he would never leave us, left us, or something. And what did father say? Oh, run away when you can.
Yeah, Father said, fight when you can and run away when you can.
So they do not help, really.
Oh no, he gives him the old line of like, just what is it? Live again another day.
Yeah.
Whatever. Discretion is the better part of valor.
Yeah, exactly. Etc., etc. Their dad was a coward, basically. Boom.
Isn't it et cetera?
Oh.
Etc., etc., etc.
I believe it is et cetera.
Well, fine. Fine.
So, moving on, we have the broom. Now it's time to visit the Looking Glass Tower.
I like
This to
this
me-
one.
Yeah, it felt almost like the first real level of the game.
Dungeon?
If that makes sense? Yeah. The first real dungeon of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Looking Glass Tower.
It did, yeah, it felt like a classic RPG tower. With a room of fate, as all RPG towers must have. And this is, so you get to Pearl, the girl, and you'll notice she's wearing like a classic white mage outfit. I do like the Final Fantasy references they sort of sneak into the game.
Yeah. There's black chocobos.
Yep.
I've yet to see a yellow chocobo,
Mm-hmm.
but I've seen a bunch of black chocobos. Now, isn't that interesting? Because why the black chocobos?
I don't know.
I mean, just like, is it like you can have chocobos, but not our iconic yellow chocobos, but you can have our other popular chocobo?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because black chocobos are popular as well, I think.
So you'll notice that Pearl has goopy necklace of, I guess, pearls?
John.
I phrased it as
it's
not
less goopy than it is floaty. Like, her necklace is less of a necklace and more of a bunch of pearls literally floating around her neck and her head.
okay. Yeah, it's like bubbling up on her shoulders, and she's got little pearls on her shoes, and she's got like very elaborate hair in sort of ribbons.
Oh, she has one big pearl right in the middle of her chest. What a surprise!
Because she's a Jumi.
Yeah, that's her special
What's that?
stone.
They're the race of people who are, I don't know. They have jewels.
I know. I do like that. So now, as far as I am in the game, we're getting into it here with this second. This is part 2 of Jumi quest, right? There are like recurring quests in this game, not recurring, but like arcing plots, and you kind of run into them each individually, one event at a time. But now I've gotten through a few chunks of each of them, and it is kind of neat. I do kind of like that we have kind of multiple like RPG plot threads going on. With princesses and monsters
I think we
that want
forgot
to destroy the world and all sorts of stuff.
Was it this one?
In between helping Diddle not be depressed.
Mm-hmm. Was it this one or the last one with Pearl where Sandra comes in and is like being villainous?
It's this one where we met Sandra before when she was after the Flame of Hope, which was a gem. But Sandra is also involved in this quest.
Okay, because she's what's her deal? I don't get it. She's up to something. It
She's
doesn't
up
seem
to
to be
something.
good because she did rip the gems out of that one guy.
Yeah. This game is very slow in sort of revealing what actually is going on, which
Mhm.
is, it's a storytelling technique.
I think it makes perfect sense in a game like this because of the way it's set up,
Mhm.
It makes perfect sense to just have nice kind of slow burns, but it's fun. Vanessa, what did you say about this game to me the other day? It's very feminine or something like that.
Yeah, I did say it was very feminine, and I don't really know how to back that up.
Mhm.
It's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm not looking to pick it apart. I agreed with you. I think I agree with you that it feels very feminine.
Yeah.
And it's very cutesy and very detailed, like settings and clothings and like items and stuff like that. Feels very like cozy and lived in the world. And also it feels very fairy tale-ish, which I maybe I'm wrong, but I do kind of associate fairy tale-ish with feminine.
I think it has like a almost kind of Disney vibe to it. So maybe that's part of it too. Although I would say that it's a pretty mature type of storytelling.
That's why I say more fairy tale than Disney, because it's like people are killing each other. So
Yeah. And
like
also,
real fairy tales. I mean, like
Yeah, that it doesn't give you all of the information, which I know has been a source of frustration in getting started.
But that's not the setting, and that's not the plot. That's the I don't know what the right word for it is, but that's like the presentation of the game and the way that the game is built, how you play it. I think is a real letdown. Like I don't think it works at all. Like it's not good. You have to have a guide basically to know what to do. It's a big turnoff up front, I think, for a lot of people. Which is reasonable and understandable and a bummer because there's a great game in here that I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would just say that's just a failure. Like it's weird. I don't know how this happened, but it's almost like they just didn't know what to do to tie all this stuff together and just kind of almost chose not to. And we're just like, we'll just fucking make the players figure it out.
Yeah, but I meant in specifically a storytelling way. You get these snippets of stories that eventually come together to kind of have a overarching plot.
That's true. That's where I'm at now with the game, is at that point where I'm starting to like see more of these larger plots, and I'm really digging it. I've been playing a lot.
I'm very glad that you're digging it.
I mean, love mana,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it the other day because now it's on my mind, and for sure, Legend of Mana reminds me that Secret of Mana was my absolute favorite SNES game.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's a good game.
I didn't get Legend of Zelda until much, much later.
Oh.
But other than that, Secret of Mana is the one that, as a literal, like when I was a kid, I played the shit out of this game with my friends. And that's it. None of the other RPGs. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry for holding this up. Let's keep going.
So you can at the top of the tower, you gotta take Pearl to the Room of Fate, where she's like, "I need to confront my past," and you're like, "What?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah. She's like, I just have to go up there. And you can either be like, see ya, or you can insist on escorting her up there.
Well, she doesn't fight, right? So
she doesn't do anything except she can heal you the way that all of your companions can, like if you're standing adjacent to her.
Oh yeah. You get HP. Your HP recovery is there's an HP recovery synchro effect. Is there for her? I thought hers was statuses.
Oh, is it? But she can also revive you. Like if you're knocked out, then you won't die right away as long as she's alive.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, but that's true for anybody. Even if you have a pet,
yeah.
If you get knocked out, you can. If you lay there, eventually you will pop back up as long as the pet stays alive.
Yes.
Which they will do. I learned from experience because the AI is so bad that everybody just kind of wanders in a circle when you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So
everybody just kind of walks in a circle.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned, but this is a multiplayer game.
Well,
I was
going to say that the problem is that we all live in the same house, but like every time I ask Vanessa if she wants to try 2-player with me, she says, "Get out of my wing. What are you doing in here?" Chris.
You're not allowed.
No, not you, Chris. You, Chris. Go escort him out.
Yeah, Hemsworth. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wing is super crowded. It's me. It's my Hollywood Chris husbands. There are 5 of them. Some of them are not named Chris, but let's not get into that.
Mhm.
They're all Hollywood Chris's at heart, and I don't have room for any visitors. They're already taking up tons of space. I only have 3 rooms to myself.
I want to play this 2 players with somebody, but it's only local, so it's got to be someone in the Square Roots house.
We'll play with Jim.
No, Jim went to Chicago.
I have 1 room and a closet that you guys call a second room.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
spacious.
I have to use an outside. I have to use an outhouse.
People would pay thousands of dollars for that closet as an apartment in New York City.
I do pay thousands of dollars for this closet.
Well,
Yeah, Vanessa, why are you charging us all rent?
someone has to pay for the upkeep of
Hang on,
this
why
place.
is she charging us rent?
Because I'm the landlord,
That's not canon.
obviously.
Erased.
But Jim and I do share bunk beds.
Mhm.
But you don't have to. You choose
Yeah,
to.
no, it's like so that way we have more room for activities.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, it's
Me,
like
I
a
also am
sleepover
a loner,
overnight.
kind of like Vanessa. I'm less of like a get out of my wing guy and more of a you don't want to come around here guy, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
nobody's coming around Matt's wing. A, it smells bad. B, once you get past the door, you get grossed out. And C, I'm not going to do more than grunt at you, you know?
So I think like in this case 2-player could play as Pearl maybe, or definitely like if you had Lisa or Bud in your party, they could play
But
as
again, you
Lisa
can
or
have pets
Bud.
and you can have golems here pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll talk
in
about
this
that in a
chunker.
second.
Yeah. So you do have options. I had after, because it's my punishment, after the last episode, I did grow up myself a couple of pets. I have 5, which is the max you can have. And I am hatching new eggs just to see what I can get. The best pet is still the same one I'm using from last time though, which is Reptar, the lizardon, who poops chocolate bars when he gets scared.
Where do
And it's
I
great.
find? I haven't seen a single egg in this game, and I've walked around all the old boss areas. I've walked around.
You haven't. You're doing it wrong. They're there.
I
Go
haven't
back to
seen the-
Luon Highway and
go
go
to-
back through
yeah.
where you went the first quest that you did, and at the end, instead of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, there's a fucking egg.
I'll have to stream it, I guess, just to show you that
Go
there's
to
nothing.
Domina, where there was...
I got one on accident.
There is
Yeah.
nothing. I've never seen an egg in this game.
Did you go to Domina where the pumpkins were?
I'm sure that one of the, I'm sure
I'll go
that
look.
I'm sure that the first egg is part of.
Well, I got the
was
first
part
egg.
of the first episode.
Yeah, I got the
Yeah.
first egg.
So, okay, so you're a liar, and you
So,
have seen
yeah,
that.
you're a
but I
lying
haven't.
liar
Okay,
who lies.
other
and-
than the one you have to get to as part of an event. I've
Anyway,
never
my
seen.
lizardon poops chocolate bars, which some of them will like nullify or help you get over status effects and things like that. And they have different attack levels and stuff. So you want to have a pet with like a high attack. But me,
Matt, how you
Mine
know
poops
what
chocolate
it
bars.
does? How you know what it does?
if you go to the menu, you'll see it when you got them. It'll show you like if they're in your party and you go and select them in the menu. You can see what their synchro effect is, and then you might have to Google what that means.
Oh, cool.
But they're usually like HP recovery, you know.
Because I was like taking this mole bear around, and it doesn't seem to do anything.
Yeah, they're not great. The biggest thing I think is the synchro thing. Like my Reptar maybe kills one enemy per level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not doing a lot of fighting. His whole job is sit back and take hits for me, and poop out chocolates when I need them. Even though it's really hard to get them because they poop out right on top of his head, and then he just gobbles them right up. So what's the point of that? So it's like the best is like which happened to me a couple of times where I'd like die and I'd be laying there dead, and he'd be sitting in a corner pooping out chocolate bars and eating them, and just staying at 100 health, never losing any health, just eating chocolate bars until I would come back to life. He's dumb. His name's Reptar. I love him. Anyway, but now he's gone and dead to me because I have a golem who shoots rockets and hovers and does poop candy, and that also is pretty helpful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not as helpful as chocolate, but I'll take it.
Yeah, let's keep going. Vanessa.
Okay.
So what happened to Pearl in the Room of Fate?
But also
so
the best quest in the game is next.
we go up this tower. It's quite large. It's a hefty tower. It's dark and mysterious. We get to the Room of Fate, and there be a dark pearl.
Ooh.
That classic RPG trope. And Pearl reveals that she has amnesia, and she's like, "Who am I? Tell me! I want my memories back!" And Dark Pearl either summons or becomes a big centaur that you battle.
I do like that she's basically going on a whole Final Fantasy adventure without us.
Yeah, a lot of this is like people going on their own like questy adventures, and you just kind of come across them. We're like the
okay.
temporary party member,
Exactly.
like in a Final Fantasy game.
Actually, there are parts in the game later, maybe in this chunker, where the game kind of like, to me, felt like, almost like, what am I even doing here? Like, I'm not, I'm not part of this. Maybe it's more maybe that's more next chunker. We'll talk about when we get to it, those quests. But some of this stuff, very much, I was like, this is, it's even worse than Vaughn from 12. Like, you don't need to be here.
You are just extra. So after we defeat this centaur, her jerk boyfriend shows up, and he's like, "We did a tower with my girlfriend," and she has to like talk him down and be like, "No, they were helping me. They didn't take me to this tower. I wanted to come here." He gets pissy, and she's like, "Please let me stay in the tower just a little bit longer because I really need to like figure my shit out." And he reluctantly agrees that we can escort her back down the tower, and he says he'll clear the monsters out on the way, but he doesn't.
He does not.
There are still monsters there.
There you can take a little secret side way to get down by jumping off a balcony.
Yeah,
it skips a bunch of floors.
Jump, and there's treasures in these sort of rooms that you can only access by jumping off the balcony. And eventually we get down to the bottom of the tower, and here comes Sandra, the jewel thief.
Well, this part's weird because I got stuck in this room for about 10 minutes till I figured out you had to like go around the edge of a pillar until a note falls from the ceiling.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
And the note is like, "It's me, Sandra. Remember me, my whole deal is stealing jewels from fools. And here I am to steal some jewels again from you. Yep.
What does that make you?
And so she sends in her lackey, the Jewel Beast, to try to get Pearl's precious pearl necklace. But we do whack it with our sword or other weapon, and it goes away. After we have done this, Pearl's dumb boyfriend shows up again, and he's like, "I helped." And it's like, "No, you didn't. Get the heck out of here." And Pearl goes off with him. She says something about him trying to find other Jumi. And if she loses him, then she's going to need another protector.
Well,
apparently he's convinced her that she needs a protector, and she's not an independent woman who can
that's
take care
the
of herself.
patriarchy for you.
That's the Pearl Triarchy.
Oh,
Pearl Triarchy.
So off they go, and another adventure to tell our cactus about is complete.
Yay! The next quest is the Gorgon Eye, and it's the best one because it features a whole army of pinglings.
Please tell us about this one, Johnny.
Oh, man. Before you tell us about it, can we just like gush without describing it? Because this is so fun.
It is real fun.
What a delight this is. And what a nice diversion from fucking Pearl and all these sad fucks and their like shitty lives and all the shitty things that are happening. Then now we get to go hang out with some fucking penguins. Tell us all about it, Johnny.
There's some big pinglings. And there's this guy, Captain Tusk. He's a big walrus, and he does have an entire army of pinglings. And
they're pirates.
They are pirates, and they seem to be waging a war. Are they waging a war on the fairies?
Yeah, they don't like the fairies, I think, or something.
They're like, fairies suck.
Oh, it's because someone told them that the fairies have lots of treasure, too, and they believed it. And then someone told the fairies that the fairies have to guard the Gorgonite because if that dies, then they will die, which is also not true. You learn this by well, first you see Cat and Tusk and the pinglings, and they go walk away to go on their little quest, and then you see a lot of stone statues of pinglings. That have been obviously Medusa'd or Gorgonite or whatever and turned to stone. Then you encounter a lovely tortoise man. He's upside down and he says, "Hello, I'm a turtle."
Mm-hmm. He
He's
is
one of the
one of
wisdoms.
the wisdoms, yeah.
Beat you to
What? Oh, should I have brought Bud along on this quest?
Yeah, if you have Bud with you, he'll be excited to meet the wisdom.
Yeah. You can go back. It's a
Yeah.
fuck. I did it for the next chunker. It's a pain going because I didn't bring him with me,
Okay.
and it is a pain bringing him around. It's not a pain. It's not hard. It just takes a while.
Yeah.
Because some of these levels are very large, and also sometimes they have a dude at the beginning that teleports you into the middle of the level, and then you get lost, and then you spend like an hour trying to get out of it after you show Bud the wisdom, and you're like, "Oh my god, please, fucking god, please, just let me get out of here." It's like midnight, and I'm tired.
So
I know if I turn the game off, it's not gonna save. Like it's not gonna auto save. You know, it's not like the Xbox where I can turn off Cyberpunk and turn it back on.
well, I mean this Switch does that.
Yeah, switch to.
No, but it doesn't for this.
Oh, really?
What?
It does for
It does
me.
not for me.
Oh,
Let me
weird.
put it that way.
Weird.
If I turn this off, if I turn my Switch off, I turn it back on.
Well, I
it's
don't.
not.
If I put
I
it
gotta
on
reload it.
standby, it's
Sleep mode.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
But you can also save anywhere.
yeah,
You don't have to reach a save point.
yeah.
Oh my god, that's right. I did know that. I'm so stupid.
And basically every screen is auto saved. Every screen you walk into, auto saves.
really?
Yeah. So you flip
That's
him
right, I
over.
feel real dumb.
You start walking through.
It's
You know
okay,
what?
Matt. It's a mistake that anyone could have made, and
Mhm.
you're not dumb.
Well, especially since the game
much
is like
faster.
you can save here. It's like, yeah, but I can save anywhere.
Yeah.
You forestalled my temper tantrum, but it's still coming eventually.
Yeah, I just hope to stall it until after the show where you can go play PUBG to get your frustration.
No, Paul didn't want to play a lot of PUBG today, and he says he's going to go to bed early.
Wow, what
you could
a
play with
loser.
other friends, maybe.
Maybe.
They're not good at PUBG.
Oh.
They aren't good at
They-
PUBG.
That is true.
I legitimately, like, no joke, and I don't mean to sound like I'm full of myself. I've gotten a lot better at PUBG lately. Like, since I flipped it over to fucking John, I'm so dumb. Tell me I'm dumb. Since I flipped it
Don't
over
do it, it's a
to,
trap.
since I flipped it over to to frame rate priority instead of resolution priority, something you told me to do 6 months ago,
Mhm.
it has been so much better.
I did try to tell you about that.
You did, and I thought it looked good. I was like, it looks great. And when I flip it the other way, I'm still not really used to 60 frames per second, so it looked weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've gotten it on it, like I'm fucking
It's a lot easier to aim.
guys. Legitimately, for the first time in like 4 years of playing this game, I think my kill death ratio is above 1.
Ooh. Well, that's good.
Amazing.
It's true though. It's so exciting for me. It's pathetic.
Mine is
Okay.
in duos because duos is full of bots, and that's why I love it.
Vanessa and I should go play some duos soon.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't noticed a lot of bots in Tego. I mean, maybe if you don't have to play Tego, because Tego's pretty fast, so I think that's what everybody's playing.
Mhm.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of bots on Tego.
So
Paul
you-
and I don't.
You walk through this forest full of more petrified pinglings, and things don't seem to be going well for them. You do run into some fairies, and they're like, "We hate humans. Are the penguins? Are they humans?" And you're
Yeah,
like,
they're like, penguin is type of human, right?
You're like, sure, whatever. Well, is it the turtle that is like, oh, what, can you see the fairies? And you're like, no. And the turtle's like, okay, I'll cast a spell on you. Turtly woo.
hmm
And so that way now, and I get the feeling this also means you can see fairies outside of this level, that it sort of gives you, because now I see a lot more fairies around the game.
Yeah, me too. They seem to be all over the place.
Yeah. So Wingly, I like his weird turtle magic. That made me laugh. So you get to the end, and one of the fairies does blast the captain off a cliff, turning him to stone. It was very sad, and he falls into the water. All the penguins go rush after him. Oh no, that's because Turtle Man does push the captain into the water.
Yeah. He's like, yeet.
And then all the penguins go after him because he's like, yeah, this will lure the Gorgoneye here so you can fight it. And the Gorgoneye looks like a big spiny nut. So
Squeaky.
this big spiny nut with an eyeball is floating around, and it can zap you and turn you to stone. I found a lot of the bosses really get confused if you go behind them.
Yeah,
So
me too.
That's been my strategy for everything.
Yeah, especially if you have a companion with you, because they'll be like, oh no, there's still someone here. And they also do like special attacks that take a lot of frame rates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
And-
it's so easy to get away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're so telegraphed.
And if you're behind them, you can not only get away from their attack, but also smack them a bunch while they're doing it.
The few times I've died, and I've not had to reload a save, thankfully, but the few times I have gotten knocked out, it has been like a mob of enemies just kind of caught me not paying that much attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
The bosses in this game are fucking easy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the later bosses killed me in this junker once, but
I mean, I'm not saying that you can't. You know, it happens.
yeah.
And the game is very forgiving, which is a great, is
Yeah.
a great thing.
I died in the tower a couple of times from like the floating sword enemies.
Oh,
Those guys are
and you
jerks.
can turn off encounters as well.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But I do not want to because I worry I will be under-leveled.
Yeah, I mean, I find the combat fun. I don't. It's not perfect. It's definitely got that double dragon problem of like lining up right, which is so fucking obnoxious. And I think is why that kick flip move that I got is so popular, because it does seem to cover it's a wide attack as opposed to most of your attacks, which are like short attacks, right? Up and down wise. It can
Oh,
be
I
really
see.
hard to catch things. How do I'm not phrasing it well.
No, I
But
understand.
on the plane, it can be so hard to line up like a hard attack. You feel like you're right in front of them, and it just goes right by them, and then they just like smack you in the face, and you're like, what just happened? Well, it happens to me. Obviously, you guys don't have this
No,
problem.
it happens to me as well. I don't know why you take my silence as incredulity. It is not.
We were just letting you talk.
Silence is rarely an indication of agreements. But yeah, that can be frustrating. But otherwise, I find the combat encounters in this game to be fun. Just fun. They're quick. I love a quick combat encounter. That's what I'm really looking for here. In these games, I always say, I love them. I want them to be nice and beefy and fun. I don't want them to last more than a minute, 2 minutes. Not all of them, but like once I know what I'm doing, and I'm leveled up. And anyway, nice, good fun. So
It's
the
good
next,
fun.
we
meet the Gorgoneye, and he's like, "Look at me," and we're like, "No," because that would turn us into a stone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you beat up the
You were
Gorgoneye.
calling him a spiny nut.
Yeah, he's a spiny nut with a big eyeball, and he
Kind of
can
looks like a beholder.
zap you and turn you into statues. He doesn't have tentacles though.
Well, no, but there's a floating eyeball.
That's
He's
true.
got spikes instead of tentacles.
And beholders can turn you to stone. That is one of the things they can do. So after that, you realize that they do not have treasure. The penguins go away, the fairies go away, everyone's, I guess, at a detente for now, a ceasefire. So the penguins have all been turned back to penguin flesh, and they're all alive again, and and the captain's alive, and they're all happy, and they do decide to go back to their
Where's the
ship.
captain of walrus?
Because it's cute.
Don't walruses eat penguins?
I don't know if they live in the same part of the world.
Penguins live at the North and the South Pole.
No.
What? What kind of
Yes.
absurd
Incorrect.
statement is that?
Am I wrong?
Famously
Yes.
incorrect.
Penguins are South Pole creatures.
I mean, I don't mean
Penguins
just the
south.
pole itself, but
They live in the
so just the
southern
South? Do penguins
Just the
live in the
South.
North Pole? It's going to say no?
hemisphere.
No, polar bears
Penguins
live
live
up there.
in the North Pole.
Yes. No. Penguins
No.
live in the South Pole. Polar bears live in the North Pole.
Yeah, they can't live together because polar bears would eat all the penguins.
That is true. Yum, yummy, yum, yum. I don't know where walruses live, actually.
Wow, I Googled it, and that's a factual statement.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sean.
No
That's
problem.
It's interesting. I didn't know that. I really do.
Well,
I
it's the
appreciate
Coke
learning
commercials lie to everyone.
that. Where do walruses live?
That's a good question. Are those walruses?
Arctic and subarctic. Which one's Arctic?
That's where Antarctica is.
Well, but
No, Arctic is the other one. Antarctic is the bottom one.
the
All right, leave me alone, guys. I'm done.
the next quest is Professor Baum's lab. This one's a pretty simple one. It's back to the junkyard. Professor Baum
Professor
is there.
Baum is a great character design.
I did
It was delightful and silly. We haven't been talking about these great character designs, which, by the way, Johnny fucking put all the pics in the...
I forgot to put Professor Baum in. I'll go get him now.
Oh, really? I was bringing it back up because I thought it was in there.
Let's talk about some of these pics.
The penguins look great. They have these like cool twirly stocking caps that are green and white.
They
and
have like bloomers on, but they're like human-sized pants, so they go up to like their nipple area.
They wear 2 belts as well, and they wear like big old fat cloaks with big like military like admiral style shoulder pads out on the outside. Their boss is less remarkable. He just kind of looks like a vaguely Middle Eastern walrus.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Professor Baum. He is literally just like a ball of fur with a nose and eyes.
Professor Baum
arms and feet.
Looks like a 1970s comic character, like a weird alternative 70s comic.
Yeah.
He's hideous.
Oh, no. Did we describe the best looking character in the game so far? Did we describe Alizal? Because he's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, no, I didn't know
He
that.
definitely is. He 100% is a JoJo. So when we're talking about Rachel and like Pearl and all that stuff,
and her shitty
Elazel
boyfriend
shows up. Remember her shitty boyfriend, Elazel.
Mhm.
Is Elazel her shitty boyfriend?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the one who's
Okay,
like, don't talk to Pearl. She's my girlfriend.
Okay, well you're looking at it all wrong. That is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and that is very much like his lines should be like, "Yes, I need to gain more power to defeat the next opponent." That show sucks. I don't know why people like it.
No, I haven't watched it, but I feel like that is a controversial statement. Please send all your hate mail to squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. But
Maybe
say
I think
attention
maybe it's supposed to.
to
Maybe
Matt.
it's supposed to be satirical. Like maybe that's the joke. Maybe it's the joke. Maybe that's what I didn't realize when I watched it. Is that the joke is that it does that. You know what? Might be worth a rewatch with that perspective. Because to be honest with you, when I watched it, I thought it was supposed to be like some cool like fighting anime, and it's not. It is just like dudes standing around making duck face at the camera, talking about getting more powerful.
Hey, I heard that Chainsaw Man is going to be blowing up everyone's grill soon because everyone loves Chainsaw Man in Japan, and here it come to the United States soon. Is that true?
Chainsaw Man is a popular manga, and it is popular here, I think. It's in Shonen Jump. Excuse me, I apologize. If you somehow don't know this, you can subscribe to Shonen Jump, the Japanese magazine, on your phone, and read it pretty close to day and date, I think. They put English translations out like that, which is awesome.
But I think
anyway,
some kind of anime is coming.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, is that Chainsaw Man is a very popular manga in Shonen Jump. In America and here, in Japan and here, and they did just announce an anime, and they are focusing heavily on the American version, which is, I think I read, which is different for this type of thing. But anyway, so we should be seeing that soon. I don't know. I don't know much. I haven't seen it, so I'm animated out, guys. I gotta be honest with you. We do so much of it for the show. Outside of this, I got no patience for it.
I've been enjoying Odd Taxi because Odd Taxi just had one episode about a guy whose primary motivation is that he got super addicted to gotcha pawn games, which is pretty fun. Anyway, yeah, but I'm slowly working my way through that. There's only 12 episodes, so I'm a third of the way through. Anyway, back to so his golem Pavlov is broken, and the golems in this game, we did fight one back in a couple of them back in Secret of Mana. There was one called like Teapot, I think was the first one that you fought back on the ship in the desert.
I remember.
And he's made another
I
one
don't.
of those, and it's gone crazy, so you got to go and fight it to make it not crazy.
Yeah.
And
Like you do.
yeah, and when the professor realizes that his golem went crazy, he does this animation where he just rotates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he also doesn't he fart fire?
Is that what
I
he's
think
doing?
his bit. Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I've talked to this man several times,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure his gimmick is that he does like fart fire when he gets worked up,
Oh.
and then he's like embarrassed about it. Like
Oh.
he like fart. Fire comes at the back of him,
Mhm.
and then he like stands there for a minute. Like pay attention because it happens. It's in the animation. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's a very bizarre animation, but I quite
That's
like it.
that's not me like trying to make a joke
No,
and
no,
like
I
twist
believe you.
something.
I
I
believe you.
legitimately don't know what he's supposed to be doing. I think he farts fire.
So the next event, Vanessa. Well, what's the next one?
The next event is the one where you fart fire in the fire farting contest.
No, the next event is we go back home, and like Watts, Professor Golem is grateful and wants to upgrade our workshop so we can make golems.
Yay! And he does make you read his Encyclopedia Golematica.
Yeah, and take a test.
Mm-hmm. I love
Which-
taking a test.
I liked it. It was great.
Mm-hmm. It's like I got the gist of it. It's like you kind of mix and match together things to make different parts of the golem, and but he's like, this will cost you a lot of money, so it might take you a while.
Matt actually is our golem making expert, and we'll hear from him later in Matt's crafting corner.
I did make one, and I colored it purple.
Oh, is it a functional golem?
It does sometimes. I wouldn't say it's great. I only have 2 like pieces of logic so far on it, but it's working. It does things. It does attack. I don't know if it always attacks the enemy, but it does attack.
Fantastic.
The next quest, Fairy's Light.
This is probably one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I think it's got a
Because-
good moral.
It's got a good moral. So we get to go to a new town. And this town is full of dub bears.
It's everyone's favorite station wagon / minivan, the Chevy Lumina.
Mm-hmm. So we head to Lumina. It's a very pretty town. It's always nighttime there, and it's twinkly with lots of lights. So we head in, we go to the shopping district, and there is a woman selling lamps in her little lamp shop.
Mm-hmm.
She's an interesting looking character, wouldn't you say?
Uh-huh. She looks like a boss.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like she should be attacking you because she got like these flower tendrils that look aggressive, and she's got some real big claw feet.
Yeah, she has like harpy claw feet
Mm-hmm.
and
And wings.
poison ivy, like 8 Dr. Octopus plant things coming out of her
Mhm.
back.
A little nurse hat, but it's purple and lined with
Uh-huh.
flowers. Yeah, she I like her.
Me too. She's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're talking to her, Gilbert bursts into the shop. Gilbert is a centaur.
Mm-hmm.
And like all centaurs, he's horny AF. John,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
do you hear about how Adam
do.
Driver is a centaur now?
how who is?
Adam Driver, he's a centaur now. He's a
Wait.
centaur man now.
Did he go swimming with a horse and then have sex with a horse and become the horse?
Yeah, he had sex with a horse so hard that he
Mhm.
became a centaur.
I watched a documentary about that. It was
Yeah, me
called
too.
a perfume commercial. I don't understand it.
It's it's as he said, it's a short documentary,
Mhm.
eligible for this year's Oscars. I can
Mhm.
only assume. And
How could it not
is,
win?
Adam Driver, he is on a beach.
Mm-hmm.
There is a horse swimming in the ocean. Adam Driver does go into the ocean, and then we get sort of suggestive shots of Driver and the horse, and then like it shows driver, it shows the horse, it shows like horse flank, it shows driver's chest.
Mm-hmm.
They're both swimming around together. And then what should come out of the ocean but a centaur man?
With Adam Driver's upper torso.
I guess, although I think it's sort of backlit, so maybe it's just their precious child, and everyone's been assuming that Adam Driver became the horse.
Is this going to be as popular commercial as the brother and sister Folgers one?
I think that they would like it to be, but I think what's great about the brother and sisters Folgers commercial is that they didn't know what they were doing.
Yep.
Whereas the Adam Driver Center commercial is definitely meant to make us think about Adam Driver either having sex with a horse or having sex as a horse.
Did this make you want to buy the perfume or cologne?
No. Commercials never make me want to buy the perfume, and I don't understand why they keep having television commercials for perfume, because you cannot smell a commercial on TV.
It does seem like a parody of a
But they
perfume commercial.
want it to be the one in your mind when you go to the store, so that they don't want you going in there being like, I'm going to go buy some blah, blah. They just kind of want it so that when you're there, you're going, what do I want? And you see the Old Spice and you go, haha, Old Spice commercials. Because that's enough to make a lot of people go, eh.
Mhm.
That's true. If you have the existence of a brand in your head, many times people will see that and be like, oh, I've heard of this. I heard this was good, when they didn't. They just saw Adam Driver fuck a centaur, and then
Right.
they decided that that was a reflection of the quality of the perfume
Mhm.
that you can get.
Or in the coffee's case, a dark incest
This-
story.
So
Or dark incest.
in this case, it is like an elf who looks like one of the guys from Hanson, who's carrying a lute or a lyre.
Mm-hmm. He's not an elf. He's a centaur.
Right, but no,
Is
I'm
for
saying
sure a centaur.
who had sex with a horse.
Oh, I see.
Well,
Let me finish.
the dragon woman, apparently.
And Adam Driver. Anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Driver
Had-
is a horse.
Yeah. So this guy's like, hey, sweetheart, I will buy all your lamps. And she's like, well, what? That's great. He's like, well, because you shouldn't be here. You should be with me, and that's why I'm buying all these lamps. Then you walk outside. He's like, okay, since you were there, you take half of them. It's only fair. I'm like, what? Hey,
Yeah.
what?
He's like, I can buy half
Aw.
these lamps, and you either buy the other half or sell them to these dub bears.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dub Bears.
Well,
Yay.
Dub Bears are very clearly an attempt to manufacture. In my opinion, Dub Bears are very clearly an attempt to manufacture something cute and silly, and it works 100%. I love Dub Bears. They just say dub.
Dubba Dud. Boo Boo. Dub?
Dub.
Gack.
Yeah, the trouble with dub bears is they do not speak English.
Goo Goo. Matt
Goo Goo.
Goo Goo. Dud?
This is awesome. You have to go into a bar, and a dude teaches you how to speak Dub Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not a jerk using a guide like me, you would have to literally at least write this down. If
Mhm.
not, try to memorize it and legit try to learn a little bit of this
Yeah,
stupid
that's
made-up
what I
language.
did when I played this game without a guide.
So fun.
Like, if
He
you want to
teaches
say Matthew, who is human, is my friend, I think you would say, and okay, admittedly, my Dub Bear is a little rusty. I think you would say Goo Goo Matthew Dubba.
Yeah,
Yeah. Goo Goo Matthew Dubba.
Mhm.
Their language is mostly dub and dud based.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
And Boo Boo.
And also they're cute.
And
They're
Baba.
cute little teddy bears, but they're not they don't look like teddy bears. They have long snouts. That's kind of it, but it distinguishes them a little bit and makes them very cute.
Mhm.
They have creepy big hands in a way. They kind of look like Jawa teddy bears.
Or any of those puppets where they have real
But I
human
love that.
hands. Like the Swedish chef.
That's a good point. He does look like it has real human hands, which is creepy.
They
That's
love
fun.
music. They love night music. They
Mhm.
love listening to music and
They love lamp.
They do love lamp.
Yeah, they'll
Now,
be
do
like,
they love lamp, or are you just saying they love the thing that you can see closest to you?
They are very into buying your lamps.
Yeah.
As long as you're nice to them and answer their and kind of try to have a conversation, they'll be like, "I'm afraid of the dark." And
Well, 3 of them are.
yeah,
The rest of them will just be like, "What's up?"
yeah.
Yeah.
There are like a dozen.
And also,
but 3 of them will buy your lamps.
they're in this tavern. The tavern's very the walking around this tavern is very narrow, and that little bastard. What's the name of the monkey bastard?
oh,
Capella.
Capella.
Yeah,
Yeah, Capella kept getting in my way when all I wanted to do was talk to that dub bear.
So annoying.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Capella and Diddle are in
And
this
Diddle.
bar playing their music.
Mhm.
And we learned
Yep.
last time that Diddle is 14, so really Diddle should not be in there, but
Wow.
whatever.
That's going to make an upcoming plotline with Diddle
Oh no.
really dark.
Oh no. Oh no. So yeah, I tried my best, like just for fun. I would translate, but I was running out of time. We had to record, so I didn't translate everything they said, but I got the general gist of it, and I wrote down like what everything meant, and it's cute. I think that sort of stuff is a lot of fun.
Dubba Baba Dud.
I think she just said Matthew is disgusting. Please stop burping.
Friends, music. Oh yeah, Vanessa said, "Friend, music, no," and I think that music is his burp.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, let's finish this thing up. All right.
Yeah. So what happens when you go back and tell Gilbert that you sold all the lamps and give him the money?
Gilbert's delighted, and he
It's just so fucking stupid.
You give the money to Gilbert. He goes into the shop. He exclaims how he will bring her out of this shitty life.
He speaks like beautiful poetry to
Yeah,
her
but-
about how much he loves her, and how much he wants to spend his life with her and spend time together, and how much he wants to bang her, basically.
But
And
he's
take her
also
away
like,
from this
and
shitty
she's
life
like,
making lamps.
"Hey, I love making lamps." And he's like, "Yes, but every day you can't
Well,
do
that's
this."
later. That's later. The first thing that happens is he walks in and they're like, "Holy shit, we're in love." And then we get like a black. Then they leave, and you have to assume listen, things happen.
No, they're out on the balcony talking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then later, you're saying later we find them on the balcony chatting.
They are.
What a surprise!
Like
What a surprise
You're
that later
following
we
out
find
the
them
door.
balcony.
They don't have like maybe finger stuff. Maybe.
Oh my god. Anyway, you do find them out in the balcony, and then they do get into a conversation where basically he's like, "I want to take you away from your piece of shit life," and she's like, "Actually, making lamps is pretty legit, and I like it." And he's like, "But I want to take you away from this fucking dirt place with your dirt job," and she's like, "Well, I don't want to do that." And he's like, "All right, peace.
Yeah.
Thanks for the bang,
Yeah.
and I'll see ya." And that's it. That's
Yeah.
the end of that story.
Well,
Legitimately, though, that is it. And that is the end of the
well,
story.
but she goes back to her shop, and if you follow her back in, she's like, "Well, that sucks. It's going to take me a while to get over that breakup." But then all the dub bears come in and are like, "We love your lamp. We love lamp.
Oh, yeah.
We want to buy more lamps." And she's like, "Oh,
Yep.
well, that's good." And that's the end of that story.
She is a strong, independent woman who does not need no man to take care of her.
Yeah.
And that is
And
the,
shit
that
on her
is
dreams.
legitimately the gist of the story. She says, "No, sir, I can take care of myself. Thank you. I would like to share my life with someone, but I am not looking for someone to take me away from my life." And that's a fine distinction in romance, you know? Like you got to find someone who wants the same thing you want.
True.
And in this case, the centaur man wanted the weird, gross plant monster woman, but she rejected him.
Yeah, he's like, close up your Etsy shop and be a housewife. And she's like, no, I love making lamps.
No. Close up your Etsy shop and be a roadie for me, basically. Like, follow me on tour is what the deal was. Like, come with me as I go from town to town and be the lady I bang at the end of the night. Sleep in dirty motels with me.
Huntin' Ducati.
Hunting Ducati. I liked this.
I like this too because it has the first Johnny boyfriend. The first Johnny boyfriend in the game.
The first
Sotheby.
real Johnny boyfriend of the game.
Yay!
Sotheby is a plantling.
Is it? Is he?
What is he?
He looks like a weird
TB?
teddy bear, kind of a weird doll. I don't know. Let's go look him up.
I
One
thought
sec.
he was like a droopy dog.
Well, now we have to look it up because we have such a disagreement on what he looks like.
I'm getting him. Oh yeah, okay. I gotta say, Droopy Dog is a good pound puppy. Yeah, like a pound puppy, which used to
love
mean
a pound puppy.
Yeah,
Where is he?
used to be something innocent and fun, and now the gays have made it dirty.
What? They
puppies?
have?
No.
Oh,
Love pound
gays.
My children watch pound. I watched pound puppies as a child, and my children watched.
I put him there under the other guy, under Skittles or whatever his name is, Skippy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like a little
Actually, his character design is shit. Like he's
sad doggy with a little hat and a robe, and he's adorable. He's just got a little button nose, and
he's got a blue
gumdrop
robe and like
eyes.
a blue. I think it's like a scholarly hat.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's the impression I get, but I'm not sure. It
no
doesn't-
arms.
Well, presumably they're under the cape.
Who knows?
I mean, that's like saying he has no legs. I mean, I can see he has shoes. We can assume that there's legs connecting the body to the feet.
So, you get, I don't know, I have interpreted from this little conversation he's having with Hamson, who is a big Johnny boyfriend, like a sort of Cro-Magnon looking dude wearing a bear pelt.
Is it a dub bear?
No, it's not a dub bear. And Skippy is a little imp,
Yeah, like a green little gremlin.
and he does have sandals, and
Yeah, Skippy looks like a gremlin.
yeah. Or maybe a Jack from Jack and Dexter. Well, so he says that they're going to make 20,000 lucre for catching Ducat. Or Ducati or Ducate, or however you want to say it.
And they seem to be in debt to this dog. Or
Well, there's some backstory here because he's like, yeah. So after that, you'll only owe me 998,000 lucres. And they're like, well, how come we ended up in debt to you? You're scamming us. He's like, well, you destroyed everything in that house you were trying to help me clean.
yeah, I guess they are. And I don't know if it's his house or if he works for a
He
yet
works
unknown
for
party.
There is a yes. Just from his wikia, he is working for someone else.
Yeah, so he hired them to keep house, and instead they smashed every object inside the home, apparently. And now they're working off their debt.
So this is another one where you gotta make sure you talk to everyone in this dungeon, because some event, like I got to where the boss thing was, and I followed all the steps of the guide, but you have to like talk to someone again. So basically, what you got to do is go through sort of chasing. What was the name? Hamson and Skippy,
Yeah.
and then find out that you won't be able to find the Ducati until you work with someone else, because it takes more than one person to find it. So you have to go ask Skippy and then ask Hamson to both work with you to find it, because they are really mad at each other. They just think that they're scaring it away.
So I didn't tell them that I was agreeing to work with each of them.
Yeah, I think you kind of, if you try to, then they won't come with you, and you need them. You need them to like scare up the Ducati, I guess.
Yeah.
Because and the worst part is, so on the way out back to find the Ducati, you have to talk to Skippy one more time. He's like, "Oh, he's this way," and then he runs away. If you don't trigger that, then the boss isn't there, and you have to go through this long, like 5 screens full of fights to get to him.
It's pretty irritating.
So you follow Skippy and you get to the boss, and when you get to the boss, they're not there.
No.
This thing shows up, and it's another big like Yeti monster type of guy. This
Just
one's
like
yellow.
in Secret of Mana, we are getting reskinned bosses
Oh yeah,
to fight again.
classic Secret of Mana.
Remember that tiger that would like turn into a ball?
Yes.
Oh my
that thing
God.
was the worst.
Someone in the
playing-
group was
we-
talking about that and how they got stuck. The famous thing is to get stuck on that boss fight.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, and not, I don't think it's announced, but I don't think it's confirmed either, but We're talking about doing Adventure of Mana for a bonus episode, and I played a little bit of it, and that is the first thing that happens in that game.
No,
is
Ball Tiger.
Ball Tiger. Yeah.
The worst.
So you defeat him, and then you cut to you with Sothersby or whatever his name is, and he's like, "Oh, thank you so much for defeating Ducati. And here's 500 lucre." And you can say, "What? That's it?" Or "Thank you," or "Why don't you share it with the guys?" And so I was like, "Oh, share it with Hamson and Skippy." And he's like, "You are the most generous man I've ever met.
John, you're so generous. It's not that the guy told you to do that, and you definitely would have kept it for yourself.
I've never met anyone as generous as you." And
I've never met anyone. No, I'm not. You're doing it better than I am. I used to be able to do a good Droopy, but it's been a minute. I love Droopy. Droopy's one of my all-time favorites.
It's
like
a
from the
great
old
voice.
Classics. That's such a great concept.
Mhm.
The stupid, small, like sad, quivering. He's so funny. He's got the hottest girlfriend.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I can't think of Droopy anymore without thinking of American politician Mitch McConnell. I think because Jon Stewart used to do a Droopy impression for his The Daily Show.
That's a bummer because Droopy's great, and that ruins Droopy.
Mhm.
But he does give you an artifact that you will need later, I guess.
Yeah, he gives you.
Well, Johnny, it seems like you're going to need all of these artifacts later.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've noticed, but that's the game.
Yeah,
That's the whole
that's the
game.
game. Is you get artifacts, unlock a new land, go to new land,
Mhm.
repeat.
Mhm. So let's talk about this last quest, the Murmuring Forest. Although I will say this forest is not a forest. Do you know where you are, Vanessa?
I'm in the jungle and I'm gonna die.
Yes. So tell me about the Murmuring
Welcome to the jungle.
Forest.
We got fun and games.
That was a really good song, Matt.
We got
Great job.
everything you want.
Yeah.
Honey, I know your name.
Hey, that's pretty good, actually. We should
Yeah,
take
that's really
that to
good.
karaoke.
Yeah.
Heck
I
yeah.
bet you
liked
must
it.
kill a karaoke, Matt.
Yeah, you guys know how much I love leaving my house and doing karaoke.
He
Mhm.
loves
It's
it.
my favorite things.
The Murmuring Forest.
I noticed that this is our shared area. Why did you decorate the alcove with statues of David Copperfield, the magician?
Oh, well, I thought it's because we should recognize Americans who
Mhm.
have made valuable contributions to the arts, specifically the performing arts. And I felt that Master Magician David Copperfield was a great addition to that.
Does that explain why there's all these sketches of him making out with a woman who looks a lot like you?
Those were commissioned art pieces.
Oh, okay.
Mostly by the kind of guys who like sit by the side of a river and you can pay them $20 for a caricature.
Oh, I thought someone commissioned you to draw them.
No, those are just things that I picked up while I was walking around town.
Oh, okay.
And, I like to support small artists.
Yeah.
So I find these fellers and I'm like, hey, how much for a portrait of me and David Copperfield? And hey, just like do something crazy. Like, wouldn't it be silly if we were just like, I don't know, like what if we were making out? Like, that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Did they think it was hilarious?
They thought that my money was good, and that's all they cared about, apparently.
okay.
So,
All right. So, Murmuring Forest.
so we head to the Murmuring Forest, and there we find one of those, like, teleporting flower fellers.
Mm-hmm. They do all they ask in return for teleporting you psychically is love.
Yeah, and I think that's very sweet. But perhaps intrusive? I don't think they mean physical love, though. I think they just mean, like, love, man. They're kind of hippies.
Yeah, that's how I
so
assumed.
we get teleported to the Courtyard of Rain. There is another wisdom here, by the way.
Oh.
He sits on a big throne.
Is that the big pink boar man?
Yeah, it's a big pink boar man. So if you're trying to take Bud around to see all the wisdoms, that's one of them.
Ooh.
And you can take him there.
I will.
Cool. And we head there, and there's a penguin named Selkie. And Selkie asks for some help. And you go to where the fairies are, and there you see a fella named Ascod, who is just like smacking the hell out of a bunch of fairies.
He murders them, doesn't he?
He just like, yeah, he slaughters them.
Mhm.
He's like, fairies suck. I'm Ascod. And then he leaves. He doesn't really tell us what his deal is. He has like a mop of blonde hair and sort of knight's armor. He looks very sort of like dashing, I guess.
This is I think it's the dragon arc, maybe?
Well, I know it's part of the fairy arc because it's all about how the fairies hate humans, and they keep telling you that. Well, who is Punkmaster though? So then you follow after
who's Punkmaster?
After this, you just fight Punkmaster, and that's the end of the event.
Yeah, you go into the next room, and there's this like floating little guy, and he's like, "What's up? I'm Punkmaster." And he like sort of asks what you're doing, and you can be like, "Oh, nothing," and just walk away, or you can be like, "Oh, I want to fight," and then he's like, "Yeah, then you will fight Punkmaster."
I'm the Punkmaster.
And he's super easy, and you just beat him up, and you leave.
He is
classic video games.
Yep. So before we wrap up, where are we playing to next time, Vanessa?
Great
Next
question.
time, I suppose that we should play to Diddle Had It.
Diddle had it.
Diddle
What?
Had It.
Oh.
I'm already past that.
All right, then let's play to the Guardian of the Winds. Great wind.
Thank you.
I already did that too.
Well, Matt, I can't make the chunker so long that Jim will never be able to catch up.
Well, you know what? Let's just stick with the Guardian of the Winds.
The Guardian of the Winds.
The one before that is the Seven Wisdoms. So we're all gonna. That's a chunk. If you have not been bringing him with you, that's a chunk. Because you gotta fucking take him to like 5 places.
Matt.
Yes.
Matthew's Golem Corner. He's building something big.
Oh no. Well, I kind of spoiled it already, but I have been playing around in the Golem corner. I've played around in all the corners, ladies and gentlemen. I took a 2-handed sword that had good stats, and I beefed it up.
Golems. How do golem work? I don't understand.
Oh, I have done a lot of the side stuff. I've beefed my weapons up and my armor up, which you can do by tempering it. Even stuff that you've bought. The tempering is complicated, and I do not know how to describe it, and good luck following the fucking directions, my friends. Google that shit. I don't know what to tell you. It's hard. But you can beef your weapons up and add elements to them, and or like spells or like random effects. I don't know, man. It's complicated. Like, you know how you have that wisdom ring or whatever, sorcerer's ring that gives all of the members in your party the experience that you pick up?
Uh-huh.
You can make stuff like that has effects like that. So that's fun and cool. And you can beef up their stats. It's worth looking into. It's complicated. There's all those items and stuff that you pick up in treasure chests, that's what that's for.
For crafting.
And literally, you're not going to find anything in treasure chests other than crafting stuff. So don't waste your time if you're not crafting.
I made a few logic elements for my golem, but only 2 of them. I made like 5 of them, but only 2 of them would fit into the logic board, and I don't know why.
I don't know why either, actually. I have a bunch that don't work, but I do have enough that I have a golem. So I have pets, obviously. I did the crafting, and most importantly, I did the golem. And I have a golem. I named the golem something. I can't remember what the name is. I'll have to look it up. But I have a great golem. You can color them. Mine is like cool silver. And he does his, according to his logic board, which is kind of like the gambits in Final Fantasy 12, but Tetris-fied.
And a little bit, remember in Secret of Mana, you could sort of program the AI of your companions?
Oh, yes.
It's
a bit like that, yes.
too.
Where I think it's distance and something
Yeah,
else.
it's range
are
and
your
gauge.
Vectors.
So
range and gauge.
because they do have
how
a
your
gauge.
is. Yeah.
But it seems like the golems don't have basic attacks, right? Like they won't do anything without logic.
They don't honestly seem to even do that much with logic.
Mine just like randomly keeps casting fire spell or his like bomb attack over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, mine does, he's got a missile attack that, I mean, he hits them sometimes, you know?
He's trying
I guess that's the best I can say. It's like 50-50, like he does okay. He's got a bomb attack that he catches them with sometimes. One of his maneuvers is hover. So if they're close to him, he'll hover, which is a defensive maneuver, so they can't attack him because he's floating. And he will poop out candy, which, unlike my old friend Reptar, who pooped out chocolate, my golem does not poop the candy out directly onto himself, so I can go pick it up, which is pretty handy, actually, as, again, in some of these boss fights, like, you can have a companion that drops health items every couple of minutes. Like, I don't know if you guys have played video games before, but it's a pretty fucking big advantage. Like, this game is stupid easy with any of these options that you have.
I'll have to look at a guide and make some more and try
There
to
do
find a
seem to be
monster.
some really interesting things that you can do with the logic boards and interesting stuff that you can have it do, but I have not I've been able to craft a bunch but not use it, so I'm still not that familiar with it. But I'm working on it, and that is Matt's punishment corner.
And that
Thank you
is
for joining me.
The end of this chunker. Once again, go to the Guardian of the Wind event.
It should be Matt and Jim's punishment corner, but Jim somehow,
He's
as
on
always,
assignment.
manages to get out of any sort of consequences for his actions. And that is, I think, why he is a Trump supporter, if we're being honest.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he just sees a lot of himself in Trump. He's like, oh, hey, here's a guy who also avoids the consequences of his actions and doesn't take responsibility for anything. And I admire that.
Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
Let's see. I'm squarely against, but also roundly for the junkyard level. Like, I think it's really creepy and cool, but I also think it's unnecessarily confusing.
Such a maze. Is that the one that in the upper or northern side there's a room that is just covered in toys that you basically can't see? I think it is.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, it is. You can't see the entrances or exits basically at all. You just have to fumble around. Like, fuck you, game. Come on.
But again, they are not toys. They are the souls of deceased soldiers who find no peace
No.
in death.
No. Nope.
No?
That is not true.
Well, then what are they?
They are golems. They are not the souls of deceased soldiers. They are soldiers that have been left here to rot. They're artificial intelligent robot soldiers.
But why do they
look
keep
like toys.
Why do they think that they're filled with the souls of deceased soldiers? Because that's what they say.
No, they say that they talk about all the shit that they did.
Yeah, because they're
when they were alive.
Yeah, they're reincarnated
when
dead
they
soldiers.
were on the battlefield before
Listeners,
they were put here as
are the toys golems or are they reincarnated souls of dead soldiers? Write in to squarerootspodcast@gmail.com to let us know. Matt, what are you squarely against?
Oh boy, we've already talked about it too much, but so I won't spend a lot of time dwelling on it. But I am squarely against the terrible level design. I'm sorry. It is bad. Does not make sense as for like I don't know what you would call it, but it's not an open world, but it's like a connected world. It doesn't make sense, and it is hard to follow, and it is very easy to get lost, for me at least, and that has caused me untold hours of misery that I hope you all suffer during this next chunker. John, what are you squarely against?
As always, I am roundly for pinglings whenever they show up in any game. First of all, I can say penguin like Benedict Cumberbatch, which makes me and Vanessa happy.
It does make me happy.
You're not saying it like Benedict. You're just saying pingling.
Yeah, like
Benedict
he does.
Cumberbatch says pingling.
You'll notice
Pingling.
these majestic
Popping my peas on
pinglings.
purpose. Pingling.
The explanation that he gives that he didn't know how to say it is the strangest thing I've ever heard anyone say. That doesn't. First of all, he's doing a voiceover. He's not sitting at home saying it. There are many people involved.
Would
in
you
the decision.
How do you
correct?
think voiceovers are done? Do you think that they don't sit at home?
Well, I think that some people, like Mark Hamill, has his own voice studio, but some people go into
a lot of the
studio,
time.
and there's a director there who talks them through their performance. In fact, even if you are doing it remotely, you'd usually be on a Zoom with a director who would help guide your performance.
Well, I understand. Yes, I understand that.
And then if you accidentally insult the director and not realize that he's watching you in the voice booth, they will make you leave through the little door.
They make you leave through the little door.
The shame door that they built into the back. That goes
What's that from, Johnny?
Community. One of the last episodes of Community.
That's right, Chang.
Yeah.
Chang has to go out through the little door in the back.
Yes.
He's like, Spielberg's here? And then they're like, we're going to have
Tell
to
Spielberg you can eat my ass.
There's a door back there.
Yeah. No. Can I just use the door I came in through? No, just use that door.
No.
Anyway.
Great show.
So, now that we've all done that, why doesn't Matt tell us about the Patreon?
Ooh, I can do that. I love Patreon, and so do you. Patreon is how you help support the show. All right? As much as it may seem like this is just a free thing that you get because you own an iPhone or whatever, actually it does cost us money to host this show and to pay for the equipment necessary to produce it, which is to say I've had to buy a new laptop, and so did John recently, ladies and gentlemen, so please give us money. Patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. We have 2 tiers. You can pledge whatever amount you would like, and of course if you do, we will read your name at the end of the show. But we do have 2 tiers. Tier 1 is the $3 tier. What's up? You get all of our bonus content. There are dozens of, that's not a joke, there are dozens of episodes that you can listen to about all sorts of topics not related to JRPGs and or related to video games. We review movies. We do silly gag episodes. Yeah, if you listen to this episode, you're thinking, give me a break. We do other video games. We do instant classic episodes where we play hot new games. We do versus episodes where we play shitty old games, and all sorts of, you know what? We have great episodes that you can listen to at the $3 tier. At the $5 tier, you are eligible to vote in United States elections. So if you wanted to vote for Biden last year, at the $5 tier, you're eligible to vote. And that's right, $5 tier might sound high. That's because that's for the super fans, and the super fans want to vote on upcoming games. We do have a vote coming up, not with our next game, but with the game after that. And that's going to be the big end of the year game. So if you're not a $5 patron, now's the time to hop on board. Or maybe like September, because then we'll be talking about doing our big vote. Let's be realistic. Come hop on board. We're going to do the big vote for the end of the year game. I can tell you right now that my personal pick will be Tales of Vestria.
What?
Tales of Vestria. That's right.
What? You're mixing
That's
up
right.
3 different Tales games into one.
No.
Oh, okay.
Vesperia. You're
Ah,
right.
there we go.
Tales of Vesperia. I can tell you right now, my pick will be Tales of Vesperia. So if you're hot for that, you want to hear the Square Roots crew cover Tales of Vesperia, which I know you do. $5 patron levels where you want to be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know
as
what
I
my
said,
pick will be, but it will be something better.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, Vanessa. It's okay. I'm just announcing the one tonight. As I said at the beginning, if you are a patron at any level or below, let's be honest, this is for the dollar patrons, baby. We're going to read your name at the end of the episode. Every single patron, we're going to do it right now, starting with John.
Well, we this is some of the patrons. It's a selection.
What's happening?
It's not all the patrons.
I don't remember being consulted on this.
Oh my God, you were.
All right, I'm going to start reading this list of every single patron that we have.
I mean, I can put them on there
I would
if you
love
want.
to thank, when performing The Stranger, Is It Technically Stranger Danger? Ross Hartley, no pithy profile name this week, I'm on break. Matt Newland asks, do you want 2 CDs? No, thank you. DP 2099, that's Deadpool. Justin Rash, Aiden, Marriott, Breegirth, Vanessa's Gold Taco Bell
sorry.
PS5. Hey, come on. Steven Paget, Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021. Sean, Miguel Torres, Ward Childress. Every Vanessa's Mom is a Precious Treasure. Mixed a Batch. Kristen Ingram, charitywater.org. I think that's all that's on my list, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break.
But I was adding more. But
Let's finish
John,
the
if
episode.
you could pick up where I left off, thanks.
charitywater.org, Jameson, Adam Zimmerman, Jerry Schreffler. You know who else is bad at games?
Damn it.
My mom. Ryan Miller, David Shook These Nuts, Michael Crawford, Andy Best, Gage La Charité, Legend of Manamana. Do, 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 do. More like Legend of Dendrophilia. What's Dendrophilia?
I don't want to know.
Tracy.
Where's Sam Elliott? I bet he knows.
The Borg Queen. Listen up, Scoot Stains. Dylan Rowe, Christian Go, Josh and Julio are the cutest. Vanessa's mom channeled the souls of the dead into toys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Not that fucking asshole, Aaron J.L. O'Toole. I'm only doing this to vote for Kingdom Hearts 2. We already played it. Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, Grey Code, Sean Gonzalez, Brian Pitt. Sign up for the hottest Kellalon Bear party. What's a Kellalon Bear?
A Kellalon is those
Are
little,
you kidding me right
little
now?
frog men with the little half shell helmets, remember?
They're plant men.
Yeah, little plant men. They have the king.
WWE Mike G,
the
Hudson
king wanted
Roth,
to marry
Jethro, Wash in the Wind, Sean Walsh, Eric Poirier, Amanda Douglas, Cameron Shoei, and Marcus Harnsberry.
Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to our Facebook group. Do not say anything violent on there, even if you're quoting I think you should leave, because Facebook has turned into a banning paradise. Everyone
Yes.
is banned for everything.
Jim got a 24-hour Facebook ban for posting, and I think you should leave quote in our group, which I think is appropriate justice. I've been railing against I think you should leave quotes for years now.
Years.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I, like, as much as we want to talk shit about it, like, it's not people checking these comments, it's an algorithm.
No,
and they can't tell the difference between joking violence and real violence. And I guess that we're just going to have to accept that you can't joke about doing violence to people or violent things happening, because there is, I mean, understandably, it seems no other way to police that.
Yeah,
content.
because people who were saying truly
fuck
horrible
Facebook.
things ruined it for everyone, just like they always do.
Fuck Facebook. But also, like, what are you going to do? Like, it's not their fault. Like, it's shitty people's fault. It is.
You can also
Sorry
rate,
a huge segment of
review,
the population
and subscribe
are
on
garbage
iTunes,
human beings.
Stitcher,
But they are.
Spotify, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you're on Stitcher and you're
Spotify.
wondering, if you're on Spotify and you're like, hey, what's up with this show? Why aren't there more other episodes? There are. Please go find them somewhere else. They're not on Spotify yet. Maybe someday they will be.
For Square Roots, I've been
Hey,
Johnny.
are we going to do a second episode without mentioning our fucking awesome new theme?
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Oh.
I can add that to the end of the first one.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I will. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our awesome new theme. I hope you all dig it.
This theme is for real for us. Like, it was made for us. It was.
Yes.
It's a
Made for us.
bespoke.
It's bespoke.
This
I don't
is
know what
my
that means.
theme. It was made for me.
It's great, and we love it. And thank you, Stephen Morris. We really enjoy it. We can't wait to use it on everything. John says I have to go back and add it into old episodes, which does make me want to maybe kind of die, but that's okay.
But then we can put them on the Spotify.
Yeah.
Fuck Spotify.
This was not an easy job because there are 4 of us and we all have very different ideas about what is good
Jim
music.
wanted it to be a ska song so bad.
He was like,
Actually,
what if it's a song you can skank to, guys?
yeah, yes.
What if there was a trombone?
Yeah, he very much was like, he wanted it to be a ska song. And of course I wanted it to be all theremin and like cool special effects sounds because I'm a huge nerd.
I wanted a show tune with
Yep,
lyrics
that
and
makes
a
sense.
dance break.
I want it to be
did
sung
you
by
want,
the
John?
late singer Sylvester.
Okay. I don't know who that is. Big thanks. Big shout out. Big thanks. We appreciate it. Great song.
Well, for Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
Okay, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Matthew Van Zandt.
Bye.
And as signing as attorney in fact, I also am Jim Banks. Bye.
Yeah.
Porky.
I feel like I'm hearing a lot of noise out of Vanessa right now.
Not from me.
Absolutely.
No,
Is it
it's
not you?
Porky.
That's Porky.
No, it's you.
So the
I'm starting to recognize the sounds of the Vanessa noises because I have to edit them out.
What
No, that-
I'm not making any noises. I'm sitting here.
This is
so
a legit
quietly.
fact. 4 years, you submitted a perfect check every time. And in the last year, am I wrong, John? Every episode, it's like you're punching the...
It's because I got
microphone.
this mic stand.
well, you have to
it's a
figure out
bummer.
a way to make it better, I guess.
Yeah.
Now listen, this isn't, I don't mean to blow you up. I'll edit this out. I'm just joking around. It does sound like you're punching your microphone though. So.
I'm not punching anything, and I'm not doing anything, and that noise is Johnny, and he's been.
John,
making
I can't make a
noise
joke
all
about
episode.
it being her breast rubbing against the microphone, but you can. Go do it.
No.
Oh,
God, why?
You have before. Don't say that, sir. That's a joke you've made in the past.
It's not my fault. I have giant mommy milkers.
Oh my God.
And he does have sandals, and
Yeah, Skippy looks like a gremlin.
yeah, or maybe a Jack from Jack and Dexter, except green.
Jack and Dexter, the popular PlayStation game about the Rat Man and the serial killer.
Yeah, isn't that what it's called?
Yep, Jack and Dexter.
Yeah,
Vanessa,
exactly.
jump on this bandwagon. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow and Dexter. That's what it's
Happy
called.
moonlight leads me to my prey. Did anybody read the original Dexter novel?
No.
The novelist, I think, is from Florida. I remember I actually read the book that Dexter was based on before Dexter came out.
Oh,
Yeah.
It actually is a really good. It actually is a really good book with really novel prose with like a lot of alliteration and rhyme.
mm-hmm.
To kind of portray his like madness. It's much better than that fucking show was. Then the problem is, then the show came out, and the show was much worse than the book, but then the books tried to be the show. So basically, the only thing worthwhile out of that entire goddamn mess is that first Dexter book.
Ah.
But for anybody that's looking forward to Dexter coming back for another season for some reason, why? You hated that show. Nobody fucking liked it. Everybody hated the ending, but they didn't hate the ending because of the ending. They hated the ending because the show was bad for years.
Hey, Vanessa, why don't you come to the alcove here for a second?
Okay, Johnny, let's go over.
What? Let's go to Matt today. He just seems mad about everything.
I don't know. I think he's really
Come on,
missing
guys. That was a
Jimmy.
fun tangent. Get on board.
You know, Jim went.
Fucking play
Jim went
with
to
me. Stop
Lollapalooza without
criticizing
him.
me.
Maybe it's because
And-
Jim's not here.
Yeah, Jim
Jim
really
plays with
like
me. He doesn't criticize me.
He's his tempering influence, I would say. Like Matt feels calm and safe when Jim is around because
That's false.
Well, you know what we should
100%
do?
false.
We should just agree with everything he says so that he'll feel better about
No.
himself.
that's a
That's
great
not
idea.
nice.
Okay, well, let's go back.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, Dexter sure was a stinker.
It was stupid of you to say Dexter instead of Daxter.
He's crying.
Oh.
He's messaging
John, I'm sorry
Jim.
that I made a joke about your misspeaking
He's
a
saying
word. That's
that
not
it
something
will
we've ever done on the
bully
show
him.
before, so I understand that it's probably pretty rude of me, and I want to apologize to you and the fans of Square Roots
Yeah, well,
for
you
this
know.
fucking huge error in judgment,
Well,
which
that's a
was
great.
to make fun of a misspeak, to jam up two franchises together to do a bit.
That's
And I apologize for trying to do that when clearly you two just wanted to make fun of me and not
we were
join
thinking-
in on
we're-
my fun
we're-
bit
we like-
of Dexter
I just
and
don't-
Jax.
I just-
Jax and Dexter.
I've only-
Get it? It's the video game
I've
cat
only
and the serial
seen
killer.
like 3 episodes of Dexter.
You don't
I've
need to have
never
seen any
seen
of it to get
Dexter.
the joke.
And
though.
I've never played Dax
You need to
and
know
Dexter.
what Dexter is.
We're saying
and
it's
you
a
need to
great
know
joke,
what
Matt.
Jax and Dexter are.
It's a great
get-
joke, and it worked. And I think that the fan mail you're going to
You're
get about
don't patronize me. This is we've crossed the line between fantasy and reality here. I'm starting to get upset.
I'm
gonna take
Oh, but we were being
Aw.
goofy, fun buds. Weren't we goof 'em
He
up,
ran
fun
away.
buddies? Okay.
I think so.